Welcome to The Localist, a conversation with local makers and independent entrepreneurs. I'm your host, author of the Localist book, and former small business owner, Carrie Rollwagen. Our guest today is McCall Harwell. McCall runs Nan Curated, which is a clothing company that has a vintage pop-up once a month here in Birmingham. I enjoyed this episode so much because I've been to the pop-up and it was really well done, well curated, the clothing is great, but also the experience itself is great. And today on the podcast, we really dig into what McCall does to make that happen. We talk about what it is like to create an experience because yes, she sells clothing, she sells vintage clothing, but so much of what she sells is also just the experience of going to the pop-up and coming once a month. And the attention to detail that she has in creating that experience, I think is really great. And no matter what kind of business you have, I think you'll find some things that'll apply to your business as well. We also get into social media. We get into her Instagram and TikTok and what strategies she uses there, what works for her there. And I think that will also be something that a lot of business owners can relate to, but also freelancers or solopreneurs or anybody just making your own things or just presenting yourself on social media. I think that is going to be really interesting too. And finally, we talk about the vulnerability of having a small business, especially a business like McCall's that is so tied to her own taste and her own preferences. And I think we all have a little bit of this, whether or not you're promoting your business or yourself online. But in a business like hers, I think it's especially relevant. And I really appreciated that she was willing to get into that with us today. So I hope you enjoy this episode. I really loved it, and I think you'll see why. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so glad to have you. You have been requested by a lot of the staff who work on the Localist.
Oh, that's so flattering.
Yeah, and it's exciting. I'll get into some of this, but I actually heard about the pop-up from them and went, and I thought it was super well run. So I'm excited.
Thank you.
But for people who haven't been, can you kind of first say, what is Nan from the customer perspective? If they're just interacting with you, what happens?
Yeah, so a dear friend of mine owns Zephyr Barbershop, and so once a month I'm in that. I kind of turn the barbershop into a store, and it's one Saturday a month, and you might get your coffee and your pastry beforehand next door, but yeah, you walk in and I have about 5 or 6 racks of clothes. I've got boots and shoes and purses everywhere. And it's kind of, these days, it's kind of it's kind of buzzing. There's a bunch of people in and out. There's some changing rooms. I always have fun music playing. And I've got either my sister or my wonderful, amazing friend, Kat, who's checking you out. So it's just a fun shopping experience, and I can get into more of this later. But I created it to be what I wanted to see in Birmingham. So you are inside in a beautiful space in air conditioned or heater, depending on the season, and you've got it's just I wanted a really beautiful experience that kind of was a combination of it is a pop-up, but it also feels like a boutique in a way.
Well, and I think you've done that well. I was surprised. Again, I didn't do much research when I just went to the first pop-up.
Mm-hmm.
And it does feel a lot more like a boutique. Everything's very organized. Also, there are a lot of, you can kind of find everything. Like you said, there are accessories, there's clothing, and even changing rooms is kind of shocking for a pop-up, in a good way.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that's sweet. And it took me a bit to figure out because there's a bathroom in the barbershop, and it's obviously so nice and gorgeous, but the line was getting so long. And I was like, oh my gosh, no one ever complained, but I was like, I would be complaining. These people are so patient. Oh my goodness. So I had one, I bought a pop-up changing room, and then the line was still so long, so I got another one. So yeah, I just wanted to make it a very I just wanted smooth sailing and just just, fun, but I wanted you to feel taken care of because I as a shopper, I was like going through my head, like, what's the ideal shopping experience, especially on like a Saturday, you know, like I just wanted you to feel like you walk in, it is I got organized the racks based off of honestly just a vibe of the clothes. Like, yeah, it's different every time, but they are organized. Everything's intentional. And I just wanted you to feel like taken care of as a shopper. Yeah.
Well, and I think I really like being down there because it's the downtown Zephyr. And there's a line for last call.
Yes.
There's a line for June.
Yes.
There's a line for you guys. I mean, until you open. But it's kind of exciting and also impressive that it's Saturday mornings. And you guys open, is it at 8?
Yeah, it's 8. Yeah, no, I know. The most flattering thing is that over time, there is now a line for me at 8 a.m. And when I open the door, like, just seeing everyone flood in, it is so kind, and it's so funny to see because it's most of the time they'll see something that I've posted and be like, where is this? I'm here for this. I wanted to get it before no one else did. And then, of course, there's the people who sleep in, and then there's another wave. You know, it's just fun. But, yeah, the morning scene on that little block is literally insane. And I need to post about this, but some people wait in the last call line thinking it's for me.
Oh, yeah.
And it is not. I mean, maybe at 8 a.m. there's, like, a little line, but I need to tell people, like, no, come in. Like, that's not my line, I swear. Yeah. But, yeah, it's definitely a fun, like, that block is really fun on a Saturday.
Yeah. And it's really nice to see all of these local businesses just doing really well and people excited about supporting local businesses and also kind of embracing the fact that it is more of an experience. Yeah. It's not necessarily if you just wanted to get the fastest pastry possible or the fastest black skirt possible or whatever.
Right. And I wanted to tap into that being there because it's a privilege to be in that space and on that block. And so I wanted it to feel like a social event too because, yeah, like if you're waiting in line for, you know, starting at something, some of them start at like 7 for a pastry or whatever, you know, odds are you're with someone, you're with your significant other or your friends and you're like making the most out of it. So yeah, I wanted it to Nan pop-ups to feel like you could like hang around and it's just like, yeah, like fun music. Like it's just, I did want it to feel more of like an experience than just the clothes.
Yeah. Do you have a background in hospitality or anything like that you're bringing to that, or have you worked in retail before? Or?
I literally have not worked a lick in retail, but I was marketing director for a restaurant group when I moved here 3 years ago, and that really, really showed me. I mean, I was so green when it came to hospitality because even before that, I had never worked in a restaurant or any service industry. Literally, I never. I had no experience. So that was very interesting. I gleaned a lot from my bosses and the owners who just, it's about people. And I think companies who fixate on the product more than the people, that's where it can get, you know, they might go wrong. And I've tried to not do that. And I'm learning every single day, literally, how to do that. But And it shows in so many different ways. But yeah, that was like seeing them prioritize the person and their experience and get creative with that and just like realize like we're all humans. Nothing's going to be perfect. A short-term financial loss it always pays off if that person's going to stay loyal to you. So if you need, you know, just stuff like that, like seeing them do that all the time was like really, I remember taking notes in my head, and I remember also wanting to get in on their like P&Ls type meetings and stuff because I did not know I was going to start Nan, but I just literally had a gut feeling that I was going to start something. Yeah. And I could not have I mean, I would have never said it out loud. Yeah. Because I would have felt like a fool, but I just was subconsciously soaking up a lot from that. And what better like form of hospitality than restaurants too? I mean, it's like the like peak of hospitality, I feel like. So yeah, that was really helpful.
Well, I think that's true. Like restaurants also, you have to cultivate this experience, But then you also, I think you mentioned this, but kind of have to roll with it when things go wrong. Because when you have food, everything go wrong.
Yeah, totally.
So I would imagine like that would be helpful too, because the same with a pop-up, like things are going to go wrong, I would imagine, more with a pop-up than a retail space that you can control everything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still can't control everything.
Yeah.
But that's still, weather is probably going to impact things. And,
yeah. There's definitely some factors that you just kind of got to be light on your toes.
Yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, though, not even too bad at all. I mean, and that's why I'm so grateful. I might not stay in this space forever, but for now, as long as Kellen will have me at Zephyr, like the consistency of the space, because like I set up on a Friday night, and so that block is cleared because all those places close early in the afternoon. Like all of the details have just worked out so well that, and I mean, it took time to figure it out, but yeah, I'm like, I really have just. It's just at this point a well-oiled machine, and I'm so grateful for like Zephyr for that, and just I don't know, but yes, there's always factors that I'm like, oh, okay, did not think about that. Yeah. So what am I gonna do right now in this exact second? Got to figure that out quick, but yeah, it's never been too bad.
Yeah. Well, can you talk about some, because you didn't start, that's not the only place you've had pop-ups, right? So you've had events other places.
I did one at Buka Wine Bar in like West Homewood. That was in October, so I'd only been doing Nan for about 4 months, and that was really fun. That was since Nan was so young to see people like drive out, because it was also in the evening, and Buka is not downtown, it's like a little bit West Homewood, so to see people like drive and come to shop, I think I really personally needed that, like, oh, okay, people really like Nan. Like, they will come for Nan. And that was like, just in my own personal journey, what I needed. But their space is so gorgeous. And, like, it was the most fun night. They had the coolest, like, records playing and wine and cheese tasting that was, like, free for shoppers. I loved that. Right now, I'm sticking to just I think as Nan grew, I realized how kind of what's the word I'm like, it's kind of a beast now, and I'm putting out so much more clothes and so many more people are coming, so I do stick to just one Saturday a month at Zephyr as of now. But that experience was amazing, and maybe if something is just like so perfectly lined up in some other way, I would like travel again. But I
can see the consistency being really good, especially as you're growing, because I think when things are just starting, especially like a local business, sometimes, I mean, some people are just mean, but like a lot of times people and your friends are like, oh, like whatever, and then, but now you've done it so consistently that I would think that having that space that what's going on in the space and how you're going to set up can help as people start expecting more. And then I would assume also this has grown from probably, and I mean, is this how it's grown from your probably immediate people following you on Instagram or wherever you're posting, and then growing to like their friends and their friends, and now it seems like it's drawing in people that you're like, I don't know.
Yes.
Is
yeah.
that right?
Totally. Because like at first, I have learned so, like, in every possible way that it takes a village if you're going to start something. And you don't have to be the most well-connected person in the community, but for me, like, my friends and family that kind of carried me and Nan and supported it so much in the beginning, that really was crucial. And yeah, it was totally like so sweet. It was like my close friends reposting, and then them being like, I'm bringing a friend this, time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, yay. And then now, which it took me a while, I think I just had to get over that mental, I was like, I just didn't do like TikToks for a while. I think I was so, I was so scatterbrained. And then finally one day I was like, okay, McCall, you don't have to make like the most elaborate TikToks. They can be like actually very simple and easy. And once I did that, now, especially like this summer, it kind of blew up, and people unprovoked now just say when they're checking out, they're like, I found you on my For You page, like on my TikTok, and you know, those TikToks were getting like hundreds and hundreds of like saves and shares and thousands of views and like tens of thousands, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I should have done this a long time ago, but it's really cool to see people I truly have never seen in my life before show up, and I'm like, this is amazing. And because I'm just really passionate about Birmingham, and I have a website for Nan. It was great at the time. I started in February. I did some designer bag drops and like a bridal drop, and maybe I will, you know, put very specific things on the website again, but I actually learned through that I'm so much more passionate about in-person experiences. And like, I started this because I moved back to Birmingham, and I was like, I don't really love the shopping here. And so I was like, instead of moving, not that I would have moved for shopping, but like, because I grew up here, so I thought it was like lame and all this stuff. So naive. Everyone goes through the pipeline of like, Birmingham is so lame, and then they realize it's like the best place to live. Yeah. But anyway, I was like, McCall, instead of leaving, just create what you would like to see. So yeah, I'm mostly passionate about Birmingham. So these like TikToks and Reels, bringing in more people, and I mean, blowing up might be a little generous, but what for me felt like blowing up, it was cool because, you know, I tagged Birmingham. I used words, like keywords, like local, whatever. So that was like, felt like it was helping me accomplish my goal, which is get more people in our sweet town to what I'm already doing, rather than trying to like sell online to whoever, you know. It was just like,
I don't think people think about it. It's almost the opposite thing, because selling in a pop-up, which is its own event, and it's like, it's about hospitality, it's about welcoming people and having an experience, I guess is the word I'm looking for, is completely different from e-commerce, which is like, you're completely disconnected from the person. Right. Like, even having a retail shop would be closer, because at least you're interacting with people. In a weird way, I found that when I used to sell books and coffee, obviously, and I kind of didn't like interacting online with people about books, because it was just a completely different thing. It's like, I want to hand sell the book. I want to talk to somebody about it. And it's just, it's different.
It is different. And some big brands do it really well. Like, there can be kind of a magic created with, I don't know, their whole, every touch point they have, they make it personal. And that's really cool. And I, you know, shop online with some of those brands, and I kind of feel like I'm, you know, a part of something. But I think, yeah, for me, I was just like, maybe in another season of life, I would love, you know, maybe there's something else I would love to like maybe if I started a clothing line, which I have no intention to do, but say I did that, I think it would be cool to share whatever designs I was so passionate about with so many people that could, like, that's a cool, I get it, but for now, like, it's just not the goal of Nan. And even though I'm so flattered and like, it makes me so happy because a lot of people DM me that live in like really a lot of like Nashville and other close areas, but also like literally someone the other day was like, come to Boston for a pop-up. I was like, whoa. Or just, it's really cool and sweet, but and maybe one day that will somehow manifest. But I just, for now, I'm like, I remember every single piece that I source, like every single one. And so when I'm just walking around town and I see someone in a piece, I am like, it is the best feeling in the world. Like, I just can't even like explain it. And it's just cool that, you know, we're both just like at June getting coffee. I just really value the in-person, or like the local community aspect. Because it's like Birmingham's a great place to start a business because people do want to support local, and people do want to, like, we believe in our city. And so it's just like this feeling of like, we can all take ownership, and like, we're proud to have fill in the blank. And I'm like honored that Nan has become that they're proud to have Nan in Birmingham, you know. So it's kind of my headspace as I've grown it.
Well, and also just for customers, like the excitement of having, like, I'm going to this one event, and even on social being able to promote, like gearing people toward this one event, I think is it a good strategy also, like, because it is something that's a little different than if somebody's posting, and sometimes I'm like, I could go anytime, so I actually will go never.
Why, literally, I mean, people ask me if I want a brick and mortar, and I don't, like, really at all.
Yeah.
The only pro would be to just have ownership of a place to, like, make it a fun space to come and hang out and shop, and to do, like, block parties and whatever. That is a cool dream, but for that exact reason, I'm like, I don't really. And another thing about Birmingham is Birmingham loves a pop-up.
Yeah.
Birmingham loves a pop-up. Like, if something's there all the time, it's kind of like, eh. Well, and I would love to see Birmingham's downtown shopping district, I don't even want to say grow, I want to say, like, become a thing. Because there's, like, literally nothing besides, like, Basic and a few other wonderful places. But, like, it's not at a place where I can take a risk. Just between, like, the foot traffic and just because I would want it to be downtown, and I just don't see it.
Yeah.
I would do it in, like, 10 years so in my mind I'm like, nah, that's never gonna happen. So yeah, I love the just the one event, so it does build excitement, and it's like, it gives me my life, it's really sustainable for me. Like, I'm sourcing all month long. I usually do the pop-ups exactly 4 weeks apart, so I take a couple days off after the pop-up, but then for weeks I'm just, like, sourcing, organizing, like, cleaning or whatever it is, whatever I need to do, posting, promoting, and then I've all my inventories back up and I'm ready. Like, it's very perfect right now for me. Even now that I have to source a lot more because I sell a lot more, it's still doable within a month. I mean, it's a whole month, you know?
Yeah.
It's, like, great.
Well, I think that also when people are kind of looking at this from the outside and saying, like, you should do this and you should do that, which, by the way, I think is a pretty common thing for customers who, like, love what you're doing. That was so hard for me when I first owned a business, because they would be like, you should sell gazpacho, or you should have a toast bar. And I would want to be like, that's the worst idea ever, and here's why.
Yeah.
But really, I finally realized, like, this is kind of their dream too, and they're just wanting to engage with that dream. And I'm just supposed to be like, oh, cool.
That is so true. Yeah. I had no idea. And it's not even... it's not even shoppers as much as it's, like, random people that I know that I had no idea that when you start anything, people imagine how, I don't have kids, but it's how I imagine moms feel when people give you unsolicited parenting advice and you're like, wait, okay, thank you. Like, it is, like, I know it's always, you know, good intentions, but sometimes it does feel like a little bit of an overstep. It's not every time, but it is funny. You do just learn to just be like, great idea, like, and not that I'm like, I'm not trying to be fake, but it's just, like, so many people, and I had no idea how much you have to say no way more than yes. Like, because at the beginning you think, like, oh, you're just insecure, not, like, emotionally, but, like, as a business, you're not secure yet. And so you're like, oh, maybe I should do that. And that was a huge, when I kind of realized, or when I kind of, like, got my footing and my foundation, and I realized, like, my gut knows what's best. Like, I know what's best. I am the most knowledgeable and the most involved. Like, I just did not realize you have to tune a lot out, and you just have to, like, follow your gut. Even down to what I named it, I was, because my name is McCall, and so it's kind of unique, and I was like, how can I use McCall or some part of my name? But there's not really much you can do with McCall, and I thought of the old, like, Patterns and Magazine brand, and I was like, I don't know, I feel like it's already been done.
Yeah.
And I would feel weird calling it, like, my name. Like, I was just like, I don't know. So then I was like, oops. I was just messing around with my middle name, which is Ann, ANN, and I was like rearranging my name, and I just rearranged Ann into Nan. And like I had like one or two friends. Actually, I had one friend, shout out to you, Lily, who was like, I knew she would get it. She was like, yes, that's so cool. Like, it's just, I can't explain it, but yes. And everyone else was like, okay, yeah. Like, Nan, like, kind of grandma-y. And I was like, yes, but it's like, I was like, but picture it with very modern branding. Like, it is an ode to the vintage clothes. Like, but with modern branding, it's like exactly what Nan is, which is like a combo of those two vibes. And I was like, there's nothing I hate more than seeing some cool brand and forgetting what it's called because it's some long French word that I'm like, okay, I was going to look you up, but I can't now.
Yeah.
I just wanted it to be really memorable. And anyway, that was just one example from the jump where I had to just be like, my gut, I know that like this is, it's going to land.
Yeah.
And sure enough, it did.
Yeah.
So, just a drop in the bucket of like, you can't always listen to everyone.
Yeah.
But you want to at first.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the thing. Yeah, it bothered. The more you get into it, the more you, I think, do, like you said, tap into, like, part of this for really most local businesses, but especially for what you do, is your taste, It's, like, it is a perspective on, like, this isn't Target. You're not walking in and you're just like, there's 5 different kinds of black shirts.
Right.
So having to lean in is, I think, difficult, especially at the beginning where you're just like,
yeah.
Because how does that feel? Because you're almost also putting that out there and saying, like, are people going to like?
Oh my gosh. It was so vulnerable at the beginning. Like, now I understand how certain people, like, I think of like entertainers who put out a TV show or videos, like, that's exactly how I felt, where you're just putting stuff out and you are opening yourself up to be criticized. Because at the beginning, I was like, what if everyone thinks this is literally the ugliest things they've ever seen? And I think what kept me going is the positive feedback that I got starting from the first one of just people saying, like, you have amazing stuff. And I look back at that first one and I'm like, literally, that was kind of boo-boo, but but there were some great pieces. So it's like every single time people were just like super like wowed, and so that gave me confidence. But like also I know that my kind of taste and like ability, I guess the taste was always there, but my ability to like not try to source everything for everyone got better. And now I feel like I can cut through, like I know exactly what I want to see, and I've honed in on just really, really, really cool pieces that are unique, that have a little edge, or maybe they are more girly and vintage, whatever it is. But like, when I see the piece, I just either know or I don't. Whereas at first I was like, I don't know, like would I think it's cool, but like, would people buy this? Is it too vintage? Is it not? Like, you just second guess everything. I think if you could like have heard my mind when I was sourcing the first couple months, I felt schizophrenic. I was like, I think I have like 70 voices in my head. I'm ill. I need to go home. But you just grow in that way. And that, when I started trusting myself like fully and completely, that was just such a shift in this thing I'm doing. Like in this phase of my career, it was like I was just really stressed before then, because again, you're second guessing everything and it's so vulnerable. And then all of a sudden you're like, okay, you know what? I've been doing this. People have been loving it. And it's really humbling, because if I put it out, because I put myself out there on Nan's Instagram, or if you go and follow my personal Instagram, like, I realized it is a level of like, if they've already seen, it's like if they trust my own personal taste, then I can kind of cut through a couple layers of like having to prove myself. It's like, oh, if she put it out there, she thinks it's cool, and I think what she gets or what she wears is cool. Like, so I realized, like, because that's exactly how it is with brands I love. I'm like, whoever's running it or started it, I follow them personally, and I think for whatever reason they're like awesome or cool or inspiring, and so immediately I trust what they're going to put out. So that was like a huge shift for me.
Yeah. Well, and it really feels consistent. And I think that's honestly almost the only way that you can make it consistent with a small business is just to say, I get it. I know what this is. Instead of, once you start going the direction of doing everything, and that doesn't mean, I think you said this too, it doesn't mean that just because somebody's giving me a comment, I'm going to reject it. But it does mean that a lot of those comments are just they're not lining up with what we're trying to create.
Yes. And like, not in a bad way at all, like not in a rude way, but you do have to figure out, like, I mean, it's just like if someone's giving you life advice in any other category, you have to like look at that person and think, do I want my life to look like theirs or not? And then that's helpful to like filter it through. But like, I just think that a lot of the comments or suggestions I was getting, I would have to just be like, well, what like demographic is this person in, and who am I trying to reach? You know, stuff like that. That was kind of like, if it doesn't like your business does not have to line up with everyone or every, age group or whatever. And I do think that I do think Nan actually is able to, I think it casts a pretty wide net for age groups and or like style to come in and be able to find something. But like, there are still a certain group of people that maybe they don't want to come downtown on a Saturday morning, or they're in the burbs and they want to stay in the burbs, and that's just like great and awesome. It just wouldn't line up with who I'm trying to,
You can't be like all things to all people and also have a curated brand that, especially because you're sourcing vintage clothes. You're not creating a clothing line that has its own distinct, like you're creating the personality of the business out of your taste, essentially.
True, yeah.
And maybe speak to that a little bit, like how do you source? Now, I'm not asking like where are your I feel like on the one hand, I don't think it is polite to be like, where do you go so other people can go, but also I don't think that even works, because it's like, I do feel like if you went to a thrift store and I went to the same thing, your taste is you're gonna find things that other people are gonna overlook. Also, it's not very safe to tell people where you are all the time, but you can find me here. But so I'm not saying like list the places, but just in a general way, is it like online? Is it thrift stores? Like,
so I do a lot. So I'm really passionate about Alabama, and I do a lot of things like estate sales. I post all the time about how I'm literally out in the boonies, like the further away the better from town.
I like that. I think you're just like, I always find this brand here. Yeah.
Are you talking about Dior?
Yeah.
Okay, literally, I always find Dior in the boonies. I swear it was like the older generation, these southern older people, I think it was like a household staple for the men or the women to have like one or two Dior pieces. I don't know. And my friend in Florence, Alabama said that he finds Dior while thrifting all the time. So I swear it's just like something in Alabama that was the case a couple years or decades ago. But so, and I mean, there's also random stuff like, I don't know. I end up in like some warehouse all the time. I don't even know. Like, I'm just online trying to find places, but I do thrift as well to supplement. And I'll drive a really long way for a thrift store too. Like, I'll drive like damn near an hour or more. But anyway, I'm really passionate about Alabama and these people's houses, like in their whole lives, wardrobe basically. That is what is so interesting to me. Yes, I find killer, rare, history-filled pieces at thrift stores, but like kind of estate sales and or like these like random sales that go on in like someone's storage unit, like random stuff like that. Those are so fascinating to me, because people think that the best pieces are like in bigger cities or I'm just like very proud to be from Alabama, and there is so much history in Alabama that you just get to see, and like I really don't take it for granted because it's just so neat to me. So yeah, those are like the main places. I do a little bit online, not a ton, but it's mainly when I'm like, I might be shopping for myself or on some secondhand place online, and then like I might actually buy it for me and try it out, and then I'm like, I do also like to wear things once and put it in Nan just to like give myself a little perk of the business.
Yeah.
But
well, especially with vintage clothing, it's not like you know somebody owned it before, you know. So,
right. Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of everything, but yeah. I'm just, it's not very glamorous. I'm like in some dusty, musty, crusty places.
Yeah.
And I'm finding gold, and it's really fun. And I'm just, it really does make me, I don't know, I think that's another reason why I didn't want to do online super, like a lot, because I was like, this is, you know, it's Alabama. Like, it just doesn't get as much, people don't understand. Like, people think it's just kind of hick or like lame or whatever, but I love Alabama so much. Like, I literally love it, and it's important to me to like, people assume I source outside of Alabama, and I'm like, no, every single piece comes from the rich history that we have in the state.
That's really interesting. Like, I hadn't thought about that. That, I mean, it's also practical that it kind of gives you a boundary of how long am I going to drive?
Right. And I mean, when I travel, cool. I don't really make trips to source. I might do, like, I don't know. There are places I'm like, I would love to go. But typically what ends up happening is I travel personally, and then I make that trip a sourcing trip.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, for sure. Like, anywhere I go. So, I mean, I was in Italy for a couple weeks and brought back a ton. So that was, like, awesome. Yeah. But, yeah, so it's mainly Alabama, I will say.
Well, and even I saw something, it was maybe online or, I mean, I don't know where, but it was kind of like I source from the South and from Europe. And like, I don't know if that was just like a throwaway line, but I actually think that's kind of cool. And it also speaks to like, this isn't really how I grew up, but a lot of people from the South also travel to Europe like a decent amount. Yeah. Especially from a household that had Dior or something.
Yeah.
Not necessarily everybody.
Yeah.
But so I think that still kind of lines up with.
Yeah, true.
Like, it's kind of an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
But I think that's really smart too, to say like, yeah, I'm going here. It's also kind of maybe like the push to justify like a fun trip too.
Totally. I try to like put it on the socials and document, so it's like you can feel like you're a part of the trip, or it is fun. It can be really fun.
So when you're thinking about social media, I liked what you said about like not making it too, like, you don't have to make every TikTok like perfect or whatever. But can you kind of speak to that a little bit, like how, and you did some, but how do you approach TikTok, Instagram? Are you other places? Are you like?
Yeah, I'm like trying to make sure. Yeah. I'm just Instagram and TikTok.
I mean, that's where you're putting your energy to. Like,
yes.
I feel like we all have random accounts.
But Nan is definitely just Instagram and TikTok. I'm way more on Instagram, like just posting stories most days. I love that. Because sometimes I'm just I'm like sourcing and I just want to show you one quick thing. Like, I do put up a lot of stories on Instagram. And that's fun. And then it's easy to like, people DM, they're like, oh my gosh, I have to get that when and then, and I post a lot of like the shoppers in whatever Nan piece they just got. I post a lot of that on Instagram. So like Nan's Instagram is definitely the most well-rounded place to be. You should definitely just follow that if you want like all the details and sneak peeks and stuff. But TikTok, it's actually just my personal TikTok, which was never really a thing. It was just I posted maybe the most like couple random things. I was like, whatever, I'll just use this. I don't know, I think a friend was like, just use your personal, because like people, it just feels more personal. Like, I don't know, people know you're a human. So,
well, and especially for TikTok, I feel like that seems a lot more like authentic than
Yeah.
creating like a business.
That's
name.
what they were saying. I was like, I think that's true. So, but TikTok I mainly just use to promote and to like I post like growth oriented TikToks, and because it can reach such a vaster audience, like Birmingham audience. Like I compare the views of the same video from Instagram and TikTok like really blows it out of the water just for like views and people getting
It's such
exposure.
a different. It seems like Instagram's algorithm is more connected to people who are following you, or maybe maybe one or two steps beyond that. And TikTok's algorithm seems to favor more like location based and also interest based, and you're way more likely to come up on like a For You page.
Yes.
Where I think to get in front of people on Instagram, you're gonna have to like buy advertising, and that's still not.
Yeah, Instagram is like you already know and you're locked in pretty much. I would say.
So that does seem like it makes sense. And I think like so many small businesses are like, should I be on TikTok? And I'm kind of like, it depends on what you're doing.
Yeah, it depends on what you want to achieve. Like the moment I realized I'm not really passionate about online, but I still need to be putting out growth content for like locally, was when I just went straight to TikTok, and I was like, and I made the videos. I honestly need some more ideas, but I've just made videos that are like, think like how people say there's something to do in Birmingham, and then I like show the pop, like just stuff like that. That's like it. I think I felt paralyzed because I was with online. I was trying to market to literally every single human being on this planet. It was just like too much. Like where do I begin? And then I felt so much better focusing on specifically Birmingham and like what do people want here and what do people want to do here and stuff like that. So that was helpful, and those actually went somewhere and like blew up. I mean, again, blowing up is like compared to other people, for me it's blowing up.
No, I know, but that's a different. It is interesting. I think that's a good way to look at social though, because some people are like, well, I got so many views or so many likes, but it doesn't really matter if it's not translating into what you're seeing in the business. But what you're saying is because you're like, people come in and tell me you came up on my For You page.
Yes, they like saved the video. They either follow my TikTok or my Instagram or both, and then they come in and and they tell me, and I'm like, okay, literally amazing. It is doing what I intended it to do. But there's like a direct, and I just keep it very simple. I use like footage I've already taken. I sometimes show myself so they know. It's always like, you're more inclined to like watch a person. So even if it's like really a short clip or something, but and then luckily there's only one thing to do, and it is to come to the pop-up. So it is pretty simple, but it's definitely been, it's like just worked, I guess.
Yeah. So do you tend to do TikToks closer to the event, or?
I do.
Okay,
I'll do it like the week of, and like the beginning of like a week before, because sometimes I'll do it closer, and then people will comment like, oh, I just saw this and it was Saturday, you know. But like about the week of, I start like doing a new wave of pushing.
I think that feedback from real people is something like it's kind of something that small businesses have that I think we forget, that even in a corporate store you don't actually get that feedback of like, because if somebody says as they're buying something, I saw this on TikTok, it's not like that person who's working at the retail store is going to call corporate and be like, you were watching our TikTok. Right.
That is so true. It is very, I really love being like, there's no distance between us. There's no like, I talk to almost everyone. Like if I've not talked to you, I'm so sorry. I promise I will next time. Like I make my rounds. Like I love to talk to people. And also TikTok is, people are way more inclined to like comment and ask about things, which, you know, you always get some random things or maybe some crazies out in the world, but like it's like people would never ask on an Instagram reel what they do on TikTok. They'll be like, okay, like when you say affordable, what is that exact range? Or just stuff like that. And so I feel like I answer a lot more on TikTok
It is wild.
Because they will be specific, honey.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they want.
Yeah. I wasn't on TikTok until this year, and like the first post had like 50 comments. I was like, what is this?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have a fairly active Instagram for being small Birmingham, but I can't think of any Instagram posts I've gotten 50 comments
right.
on.
It's just like the culture on TikTok is the comments section.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
It's such a big part of it, which I like. I mean, I love it.
Yeah. So I think that's interesting. So yeah, like when you're shooting, you are using that footage repeatedly. Are you purposely capturing footage at the pop-up so you can use that, or no?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, I just capture, obviously, the general vibe, the people, you know, fun, hustling and bustling. But I also try to zoom in on, like, all, like, the haul they have in their arms, which is so fun to me. Like, to see what everyone picks out. And, I don't know, maybe, like, people checking out, or people, like, coming out of the changing room and showing their friends and stuff. It's just, like, the whole, so you know what is going on in the whole experience. Instead of just seeing a bunch of people in a room, you're like, okay, this is, like, feels like an actual store, and I can try stuff on. And, you know, I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is what I want to do. I feel like I haven't actually done that very well. So starting the next one, I'm trying to, like, make people get a quick glimpse at the entire experience, rather than just, like, but I mean, at the same time, see, this is classic, you're just, like, back and forth in your head. At the same time, I also feel like sometimes when you just almost leave a little to the imagination, people are so curious and they just come anyway. So, you know, but I do try to get cute little, it's like fun little details of the day that do draw people in sometimes too. So.
Well, I think you show the things that, to me, I think would be helpful, because I get anxious about, I'm like, where am I going to park? What is this? You know, but like you should, like, even showing that there are fitting rooms and even just seeing the way things are set up, I think is helpful to people to say, because I'm like,
know what to expect.
Yeah. Like, I'm not great at being able to judge like how things are going to look on me. I think some people are really good at that. I'm not. So like knowing that there is a fitting room is a complete, like, oh, okay, like, I'll go, you know?
Yeah.
But I think you do that, and you can kind of see from the posts too, like, how the setup is, where you're paying, that kind of thing, which is, I think, pretty important. But you don't have to say, I mean, like, even you interacting and connecting with people, they'll find that out when they get there, you know?
That's
like,
true, yeah.
What are other things you do for that experience? Like, are you picking the music? Are you thinking about that? Is there, like...
Yeah, I have a Nan playlist that I'm just, before each pop-up, I'll add, like, fun stuff I've been listening to. It's kind of a pop girly vibe, but I just want the music to be, like, fun. Because it's, like, I just want it to be, like, fun and positive. And,
well, people shop more when the music is positive.
Yeah, like, I'm like, this should be fun, y'all. Like, this should be really fun.
Yeah.
I know, because you just, like, feel good, and you're just like, yes. And it's so sweet, because some people are on a budget, some people are not, but, like, the ones who are, they'll say, like, okay, this time it lined up with my paycheck, I just got paid.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, girl, do your thing. It's just, like, fun, and if you are allotting your funds that could be going other places to Nan, I want it to be, like, literally so fun. I want every time you put on those pieces to just, like, remember the day, and it wasn't stressful, and you weren't outside sweating or something, or digging through a pile, or you weren't, like, you know how sometimes you go into, like, just bigger brand, like, stores, and you're just, like, I feel like I'm literally sucked into a vortex. Like, I leave and I'm like, how much time did I spend in there?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I got. Like, everything is fuzzy. I just need the sunlight.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like that either. I just want everything to feel, like, good and calm, and, like, you worked hard for that money, and now you get these amazing pieces, and the whole time you were just, like, so happy to be doing that, you know?
Yeah. No, I totally
it means
agree,
a lot to me that, like, I can accommodate people of all financial, wherever you might be.
Well, and also feeling that experience when you put on the clothing also makes the clothing look better. I mean, it helps you have confidence if you're having that experience. And it also helps clothing to mean something. So it's just like you're just connecting to that a lot more when we don't have time to get into, like, fast fashion and all that. But it's, like, kind of the opposite of that experience. First of all, like, you are actually literally reusing clothing, so that's the opposite of fast fashion.
Right.
But also you're connected to an experience you can feel good about and remember that when you wear it.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I love that. Thank you.
Well, actually, this is probably a good place to stop. I would love to keep talking, but we can't talk forever.
We can talk forever,
Yeah.
and that's okay, and that's just life.
So tell people, and we'll link to these in the show notes, but like what your Instagram and TikTok is, and just what's the best way to find the pop-ups. And
Great. The Instagram is Nan.Curated. And my TikTok, I don't actually know what that is.
We'll find
okay,
it.
well, let's do that.
That's a reason to go to the show notes.
Great.
Yeah.
I know it's like my name.
Yeah.
It has McCall and Harwell in it.
Okay.
But anyway, we'll
I think
link it.
normally if you search that, especially if you're in Birmingham, it'll come up.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But yeah, next podcast I'll have that memorized. But yeah, those are the main two places, and the next pop-up is September 13th, Saturday morning. And let me just say again, if you see the long line and you're waiting in it, it's this for the bakery. That's not for me. You can come on in at 8 o'clock. You can come on in. But
yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Thanks. The Localist podcast is written by me, Carrie Rollwagen, and produced here at Infomedia Studios. So Infomedia is a sponsor of the podcast, and we handle everything, the recording, show notes, posting to podcast platforms, even helping with social media content. So if you're interested in doing your own podcast, doing a podcast for your business, or shooting any kind of content for social media, reels, YouTube shorts, you name it, we would love to help. To get that started, just head to infomedia.com and fill out the contact form. You can find show notes about this week's topic at carrierollwagen.com, and you can find me on social media pretty much everywhere at CRollwagen. Our showrunner is Taylor Davis, Hannah Cragen is our outreach manager, and Paul Bryant is our audio engineer. So until next time, here's to thinking global by acting local and putting small shops before big box.